This is Bonvoy, and this is Quinn.
580 gram.
They're only about 20 days old, but they sure are vocal.
White opaque color.
This little Peregrine falcon and his brother are part of the family that are the longest standing residents of the Sheraton Hotel.
They've been with us for over 20 years, and we've produced 34 falcons to date, so it's amazing to have them here.
And the Canadian Peregrine Foundation has been monitoring them all those years. They're part of a successful recovery of this species.
Back in the 1980s, the species here in Ontario was listed as completely being extirpated. Peregrines now in Canada have in fact exceeded pre-DDT levels, which is exactly where we wanted to be.
And each year the chicks are banded so that they can be both monitored and protected.
If a bird, a peregrine falcon, was harvested legally under permit on migration in the United States, and it donned a black Canadian recovery band, which is a clear designate that this is a species at risk still listed, that it must be released back to the wild and it can't be kept. So believe it or not, a little $22 band, leg band put on this bird's leg protects your and my Canadian resources outside of our laws and protections and outside of our country's border.
While they're being banded, they're also being weighed, which is how the team can tell if they're male or female. Both of these chicks are boys. And while it may seem strange that these peregrines choose downtown skyscrapers for their nests, it's actually now not that uncommon. In fact, urban nests tend to be doing better than rural ones.
Your urban birds, our Toronto birds, are outproducing the wild birds in historical nest sites in Northern Ontario. And that, in general, has aided and abetted to a very healthy recovery of this species, not only here in Ontario, but throughout other parts of Canada.
But this has been a very difficult hatching season for peregrines. And unfortunately, they've had a very high failure rate.
This year in particular, with these cold, nasty, rainy, damp springs, we've had upwards of a 30+% failure in a lot of our Southern Ontario nest sites. And we're seeing that mirrored in with our colleagues to the south in New York State and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin and Ohio, and that there have eggs laid, not hatched, and there have been many of the nest sites were just simply no eggs laid at all this year.
Which makes these two little guys extra special.
They are just on security cameras, watched 24/7, 365 days a year by the foundation and by our security department.
Well, this little guy is going to go right back into his nest now. He won't actually leave until sometime this September. At the Sheraton Hotel, Audra Brown, City News.